The story begins with a small black puppy wandering alone on the streets. He's a Mastiff, weak and starving, clearly hasn't eaten in days. When suddenly, a car pulls up beside him. A man steps out. His name is Blue. At first glance, he looks like a savior, someone who helps helpless animals. He gently pets the puppy and takes him along, but the man wearing those blue glasses isn't what he seems. Blue is actually a ruthless dogfighter, someone who makes money by organizing illegal dogfights and betting on them. He names the puppy Bullet Head. Blue keeps him hungry for days, so he becomes aggressive, violent, and dangerous. Over time, Bullet Head grows up and becomes the undefeated king of the ring. He brings Blue victory after victory, and a lot of money. And while Bullet Head truly loves his owner, to Blue, he's nothing more than a money-making machine, but greed always grows. Now Blue wants to push things further. He decides to make Bullet Head fight two dogs at once. One day, Bullet Head is thrown into the ring against two trained hunting dogs. The moment the leash is released, they both attack him at once. Even after being badly injured, bleeding, barely standing, Bullet Head keeps fighting, only for his owner. And in the end, he kills them both. He wins the fight, but this time, his injuries are worse than ever before. When Blue sees his loyal dog in pain, he doesn't feel sympathy. He sees weakness. Instead of retiring him, he orders his men to put Bullet Head down. Bullet Head watches his owner walk away, confused, broken. He doesn't understand. The man he fought for is now sending him to his death. The dog handler drags him inside and tries to kill him using electric shock. In unbearable pain, Bullet Head fights back. He attacks the handler. Enraged, the handler beats him brutally until he's almost dead and then walks away, thinking it's over. But then, he hears a growl behind him. Bullet Head is back. He survived death, and this time, he attacks with pure rage, killing the handler in a brutal way. The scene shifts. Now we see four criminals pulling up near an old abandoned building in a car riddled with bullet holes. The cracked windshield tells the whole story. They've just escaped a serious shootout with the police. Stacy tries to wake up their driver, Eddie, but he's already dead. Now only three of them are left. One of them, Gage, young, reckless, and impulsive, says, "We've got the money and some time. Why don't we just split it and disappear?" Hearing this, Stacy gets furious. It was Gage's mistake that ruined everything and got one of their teammates killed. Now with the entire city on alert, they have no choice but to hide inside this abandoned municipal storage facility. News channels are flooded with reports about their robbery, and the reason it all went wrong was Gage's drug addiction. In the middle of the heist, he broke into a pharmacy to steal drugs, which gave the police the exact chance they needed. If Stacy wasn't one of Walker's top men, he would have already shot Gage by now. Walker notices that Gage is getting sick, his body reacting to the lack of drugs, so he gives him one last chance, one final dose, but on one condition. After today, he quits for good. Gage agrees, takes his bag, and walks into another part of the building. Meanwhile, sitting in the darkness, Stacy starts thinking about his girlfriend, Gracia. She was beautiful, but more importantly, wise. She always wanted him to leave this life of crime and live like a normal person. But for Stacy, there's no going back now. He hates the idea of working hard for a living, and believes his future lies only in darkness and big crimes. Walker was experienced. He knew that the world of crime slowly empties a person from the inside. Looking straight into Stacy's eyes, he says, "Listen, there are only two kinds of work in this world. One where you're a slave to the system, a 9-to-5 job, no freedom, no choices. And the other, where the bullet works for you. Yeah, there's money, but death is always right above your head." He pauses, then adds, "Now it's up to you, which path you want to choose." They're still talking about life, when suddenly Stacy realizes something. Gage hasn't come back for a long time. They call out to him again and again, but all they hear is silence. Meanwhile, Gage, desperate for drugs, wanders deeper into a dark corner of the building. There, he finds an old locker. It looks suspicious, like it was used for illegal stuff. He opens it, and his eyes light up. Inside are dozens of syringes and drugs. To him, it feels like hitting the jackpot. He starts stuffing everything into his bag like a madman. But then a deep, terrifying growl echoes through the silence. Gage freezes. Right in front of him lies a half-eaten dead body. It's the handler, and instantly, Gage understands. He's not alone. This is the same building where illegal dogfights used to happen, where Bullet Head was supposed to die. But now, that same beast is the king here. Just then, Stacy and Walker arrive. They slowly tell Gage to back away, but it's too late. Bullet Head attacks. The three of them barely manage to escape, slamming a heavy door shut behind them, saving their lives. Walker is shaken. "I've never seen a dog this quiet, and this deadly. We need to get out of here right now." But Gage starts yelling, "My bag! My drugs are still inside. He can't survive without it, not even for a moment." When he insists on going back in, Stacy loses it. He punches Gage hard, knocking him out cold. Help is still far away, and the silence around them feels suffocating. To ease the tension, Walker suddenly asks, "Hey Stacy, you a dog person or a cat person?" Stacy smirks a little. "It's a long story, but yeah, I like dogs." Walker's got time, so Stacy starts telling a story from his past. "This was back when I was drowning in debt, so I planned a big job, stealing rare mushrooms worth millions, used to make drugs. I followed the supplier for days, even went through his trash, and finally found the warehouse. But I had one problem. I didn't know where the stuff was hidden inside. Then I heard about a guy whose dogs were trained to sniff things out, so I went to him. But the best dog he had didn't like me. It kept barking non-stop. I had no choice, so I picked another one, a fancy white poodle. Yeah, a designer dog, so beautiful. You couldn't forget it even if you tried. Honestly, I had my doubts. Like, how is this dog gonna help help in a robbery. But inside the warehouse, that poodle shocked me. It actually picked up the scent and led me straight to the mushrooms. I grabbed the bag, and without taking any risk, I left the dog behind and ran. But the moment I stepped outside, a guard was standing there, pointing a gun at me. I thought, this is it, I'm done. But then that same poodle walked up and stood right in front of him. Turns out, that guard was terrified of dogs. He panicked and ran away, gun and all. That day, that dog changed my fate, and ever since then, I've been a dog person. Walker bursts out laughing after hearing Stacy's poodle story. But the moment quickly fades. They suddenly realize Gage is still missing. Just as they step out to look for him, they hear police sirens in the distance. A team of officers arrives to search the abandoned building. Stacy and Walker hold their breath, hiding in the shadows. In the darkness, Bullethead is watching everything. As a cop slowly walks closer, Bullethead is about to attack. But then he sees something. The officer gently pets his canine partner, showing him care, affection. And in that moment, something inside Bullethead changes. He remembers a time when he too just wanted love. His aggression fades, and silently he walks away. After the police leave, Gage finally comes back, but Stacy, still furious, refuses to open the door for him. And in that exact moment, Bullethead attacks. A brutal, sudden strike. Stacy somehow pulls Gage inside, but in the chaos, Walker falls off the platform, suffering serious internal injuries. They survive the dog, but barely. On a nearby wall, names are written, dogs who lost their lives in those fights. Trying to ease the tension, Walker asks Gage the same question. Kid, you like dogs or cats? Gage's eyes fill with tears, and he begins his story. When I was about 6, I found an injured dog on the street. I brought him home, hid him in the garage. I used to steal food from school for him, sometimes even shoplift. But soon, I started getting caught. We didn't even have enough food at home. My dad would lick the plates clean. One day, I came back from school. The fridge was open. Dad had found out. That poor dog. He wagged his tail when he saw him, thinking someone had come to love him. But instead, Dad picked up a hammer and beat him to death. Silence. Stacy and Walker are stunned. Now it all makes sense why Gage fell into drugs. He was trying to escape that nightmare. And even today, he blames himself for that dog's death. Just then, Stacy notices something on the wall. A hidden door. They open it and freeze. Inside, stacks of cash. So much money. Their own robbery looks small in comparison. Stacy instantly understands. This is money from illegal dogfighting and drugs. And sooner or later, someone will come looking for it. Stacy turns and shouts, Gage, looks like today's your lucky day. But there's no answer. Gage is gone. A drug overdose has killed him. Stacy breaks down. He blames himself. It was his responsibility to protect his team. Meanwhile, Walker's condition is getting worse. Severe internal bleeding. Walker tells Stacy to take the money and run, but Stacy refuses to leave him behind. Instead, he asks the same question, dogs or cats? Walker smiles faintly and begins his story. Once, I stole a safe, tried opening it for days. Wanted to buy my daughter a nice birthday gift, but when it finally opened, there wasn't a single dollar inside. My daughter always wanted a cat, so I broke into a pet shop, but all that was left were puppies and fish, and I knew I couldn't handle a dog. Walking it, cleaning after it, that wasn't for me. Then I saw a fish tank. Inside, there was this bright yellow fish, beautiful, different from all the others. So I took it and added a bunch of other fish with it and brought them home. I thought my daughter would be happy in the morning, but she wasn't. I woke up to her screaming. I had mixed freshwater fish with a saltwater fish. They all died, except that one yellow fish. And right now, I feel like those fish, like my time's up. Stacy still refuses to leave him, but then he remembers there's a van outside, and the key must be with the dead handler. Holding a sharp piece of metal, Stacy steps outside. What he sees is horrifying. Dozens of dead dogs, all killed by Bullethead alone. Hands shaking, he picks up the key, but then, from the darkness, Bullethead appears. Stacy runs. With everything he's got, he jumps into an old bus nearby, hiding, barely breathing. For a moment, he thinks he made it, but Bullethead is no ordinary dog. He follows the scent, finds him, and then like a true predator, he attacks. Terrified, Stacy quickly hides inside an old piano. Bullethead can smell him. He knows he's close, but he just can't see him. The dog is about to turn away, when suddenly, a single drop of sweat falls from Stacy's forehead, landing on the piano strings. Ding. That tiny sound gives him away. In an instant, Bullethead slams into the piano with full force. One of its legs breaks, and the heavy piano crashes down, right on top of him. When Stacy opens his eyes, he sees it, that deadly beast, trapped under the piano, struggling in pain. This is his chance. He has the keys. His friend is waiting. He can just walk away. But then, he hears it, a soft, painful whimper, and Stacy freezes. Even though he's a criminal, his heart isn't. He can't leave a helpless creature to die. So he turns back, and with all his strength, he lifts the heavy piano, and saves Bullethead. Bullethead understands. This man is not his enemy. He's his savior, and without attacking, he disappears into the darkness. Stacy helps the injured Walker, and they slowly move toward the van. Freedom is just a few steps away. But then, a black Mercedes G-Wagon pulls up in front of them. Blue steps out. The moment he sees the bag of money, he understands everything. Without hesitation, he opens fire. Walker steps in front of Stacy, taking the bullets, sacrificing his life to save his friend. Shattered, but alive, Stacy grabs the money and runs back inside the building. But Blue isn't done. Armed with a machine gun, he follows him in. Stacy hides inside an old boat. There are 3 boats there, and Blue starts playing a sick game. He doesn't want to kill Stacy quickly. He wants him to suffer. He starts talking, telling stories, breaking him mentally, while firing shots one by one at each boat. But then, Stacy spots a rabbit, sneaking in through a small hole. That's his way out. He quietly escapes through that same opening, but Blue sees him. Stacy runs and jumps into the water. A bullet hits his leg, and the bag of money sinks into the depths. Bleeding, barely alive, Stacy drags himself back into the same fighting ring where Bullethead once fought. Blue catches up, no mercy. He fires. A bullet tears through Stacy's stomach. Stacy collapses, helpless, dying. Blue walks closer, ready to finish him, but then a growl cuts through the silence. Bullethead is back. Blue can't believe it. He calls him, and Bullethead walks up like a loyal dog, wagging his tail. But this isn't loyalty. It's a trap. Blue raises his gun, points it at Bullethead's head, ready to kill him. But in that moment, Bullethead sees the truth, the cruelty in his master's eyes, and the compassion. If he doesn't act now, Stacy will die. Before Blue can pull the trigger, Bullethead lunges forward and locks onto his neck. Blue fires again and again, bullets tearing through Bullethead's body. But the dog doesn't let go, not until Blue takes his last breath. Finally, Bullethead collapses. Stacy, barely able to move, crawls toward him. He gently places his hand on his head and gives him the love he deserved his entire life, the love his own owner never gave him. Slowly, Bullethead takes his final breath and closes his eyes, like a true hero. 5 years later, Stacy is no longer the same man. He left that dark world behind. Now, he has a dog of his own. He raised him with love and named him Bullethead. He returns to his girlfriend, Gracia, who waited for him all these years. That one night of darkness gave Stacy a new life and memories of a silent hero who changed him forever. If you're a true dog lover and this story touched your heart, make sure to like and share it with others, and subscribe for more emotional and thrilling stories like this. See you in the next one. Till then, take care of yourself and your furry friends.